How can you help someone with depression? Well, according to the Mayo Clinic, these are some of the symptoms for depression: feeling of sadness, tearfulness, emptiness, or hopelessness, angry, irritability, or frustration, even over small matters, reduced appetite, anxiety, agitation, and you can read them all if you want to. But I want you to pay attention to the bottom part where it says, for many people with depression, symptoms usually are severe enough to cause noticeable problems in day-to-day activities such as work, school, social activities, or relationships with others. Some people may feel generally miserable or unhappy without really knowing why. I want to show you some statistics that call my attention. In this one from Health Central, especially says number one, depression is the leading cause of disability in the United States. I'm going to repeat that. Depression is the number one leading cause of disability in the United States. Now, this other statistic is coming from National Institute of Mental Health, and it's really scary because it says in 2020, 17% of young adults between 18 to 25 years old had depression. This other statistic is coming from Mental Health America. This is from 2020, and says that over 10.3 million adults have serious thoughts of suicide in the United States. This other statistic says that major depression in youth has increased 4.35% over the last 6 years. Now over 2 million youth have depression with severe impairment. Now, this is up to 2020. Now, let's see what the news say. And before I show you what Tucker is going to share with us, I want you to know the meaning of this word. He's going to mention this word like 2 or 3 times, SSRIs, which means selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. What is that? That is the drug that has been approved to treat depression. And we know them like Celexa, Lexapro, Prozac, Paxil, Paxeva, Zoloft. And I want you to see the side effects of the SSRIs. You can see this at the mayoclinic.org. The Mayo Clinic says that some of the possible side effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, headache, drowsiness, dry mouth, insomnia, nervousness, agitation, dizziness, sexual problems such as reduced sexual desire, difficulty reaching an orgasm, or inability in maintaining an erection, which we know as an erectile dysfunction. Impact on appetite leading to weight loss or weight gain. Now let's see what Tucker is going to share with us.
A lot of young men in America are going nuts. Are you surprised? And by the way, a shockingly large number of them have been prescribed psychotropic drugs by their doctors, SSRIs or antidepressants. And that would include quite a few mass shooters. And keep in mind, again, these drugs are meant to prevent crazy behavior. And yet there seems to be a connection. Eric Harris, the Columbine killer, was on both Zoloft and Luvox. A year earlier, a 15-year-old called Kip Kinkle shot his parents and dozens of classmates. He was on Prozac. In 2005, a 16-year-old called Jeff Wiesa killed his grandfather and 10 kids in Minnesota. He was on Prozac too. So was 27-year-old Stephen Kamerzak, who murdered 6 people at Northern Illinois University. In 2012, you may recall, when 25-year-old James Holmes walked into a movie theater and shot 82 people. He was on Zoloft. The list goes on and on and on and on. It includes the shooter at the Washington Navy Yard in 2013. That would be 34-year-old Aaron Alexis. It also includes Dylan Roof. He's the 21-year-old who shut up the church in Charleston. Now, he was apparently a racist, and we've heard a lot about that. Fine. But we've heard next to nothing about the fact that he was taking SSRIs. He and many, many others. You're not supposed to notice, but some have. The Journal of Political Psychology once assembled a list of dozens more mass killings, all committed by young people, young men, on prescription drugs. So is there a connection? Well, we don't know definitively. We do know there are a whole lot more of these drugs being taken by kids than ever before, and by the entire population who's not taking some prescription medication at this point. Between 1991 and 2018, total SSRI prescriptions in the United States rose by more than 3,000%. 3,000%. 3,000% of anything is a massive change. You don't see changes like that. But the point of this change was to make Americans calmer, saner, happier. Take these drugs and your problems will go away. Yes, you will become numb. You will lose part of yourself. You no longer experience deep joy. You'll become part robot, but at least you won't want to kill yourself or harm other people. That was the promise. 3,000%. Did it work? Let's see. Over the very same period, the suicide rate in the United States jumped by 35%. Did it work? Well, millions of people got on anti-suicide drugs, and we wound up with many more suicides. So maybe it's not working. Is it possible it's making the problem worse? You think? Let's see. Mass shootings also increased dramatically over the very same period. Here's a chart that shows it. Now, the halfwits on Twitter always scream the same thing. Correlation is not causation. All right, whatever that means. But tell us, halfwits, what is going on exactly? What does that chart mean? We know that SSRIs are dangerous. It says so right on the label. They increase, quote, the risk of anxiety, agitation, irritability, hostility, aggressiveness, impulsivity, and mania. Oh, not a big deal. That's not causation. Then what is it? According to one meta-study by the FDA, young people who've been prescribed SSRIs have an increased rate of suicide. Oh, wait, more suicide? Weren't they supposed to reduce suicide? But we're getting more suicide. Let's stop right there. But we're not stopping. We're accelerating. Between 2015 and 2019, the use of SSRI drugs by teens in the United States rose by nearly 40%. So it's not working. Let's do a whole lot more of it. This seems like a massive and extremely obvious problem. Extremely obvious. People aren't themselves. They're taking drugs that appear to be causing the behavior the drugs are designed to prevent. Why don't they talk about this on TV? Oh, let's see. In 2020, the pharmaceutical industry spent more than $4.5 billion advertising on national television in this country. Now, how much is that? Well, to put it in some context, Pfizer spent more on advertising in 2020 than it did on research and development. But it wasn't a bad decision. It was a great decision. Pfizer's revenue doubled last year to more than $81 billion. Now, how'd they do that? Well, the ad campaign paid off. It helped convince politicians to require the entire population take Pfizer products. Products that don't work as advertised, that have killed large numbers of people, and whose side effects are indemnified against lawsuits by the United States Congress. That's quite a business model. You might think it could be a subject of a media story. But no stories on Pfizer. They're paid to be fanboys of Pfizer, therefore they are. Here's a tweet, for example, from CNBC, which is ostensibly a news organization, and we're quoting. Pfizer is uniquely positioned to advance mRNA, which could be a breakthrough for other infectious diseases, genetic diseases, and cancer. Parenthesis, paid post for Pfizer, hashtag ad. It's on their Twitter account, a news organization. They're admitting it's a paid post for Pfizer. But in CNBC's defense, they're not alone. Pretty much all the news coverage you see in the United States is a paid post for Pfizer. Watch this.
Anderson Cooper 360, brought to you by Pfizer.
ABC News Nightline, brought to you by Pfizer.
The Human Factor, brought to you by Pfizer.
CBS Health Watch, sponsored by Pfizer.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Pfizer.
CNN Tonight, brought to you by Pfizer.
Oh, it's all brought to you by Pfizer. Now, why is that?
Now, there are other options that you can use to help someone with depression. And I'm going to share one with you tonight. This is a natural solution. A natural solution that you can benefit yourself or anyone that is going through depression.
Sometimes life comes at you at 1,000 miles per hour. Picture your daily workload. How do you feel about how hectic life can be? What do the demands of your life sound like? Well, now there's an easy way to cut through it all and discover your personal nirvana. Life is challenging for everyone. We could all use an emotional boost now and then. Can you picture what your life would look like if you were even happier? Even in those moments when you feel a little overwhelmed? Not surprisingly, the answer to this question is directly related to body chemistry. Introducing the Nirvana system, a dual-action mood enhancer unlike any other. Think about that euphoric feeling you get when you flirt with someone you're attracted to. It's actually produced by the body's natural release of endorphins. But it doesn't last very long, and that's where Nirvana does something no other product can. The Nirvana supplement includes a natural seaweed extract that not only supports healthy endorphin production, but its patented stabilization process produces sustained results. So your outlook becomes brighter, life's stressors feel less overwhelming, and things sound more doable. And unlike its pharmaceutical counterparts that can take 9 or more months to build up in your system, Nirvana does this in just a few weeks. So you get the short and long-term results you want in one convenient system. Completing the system is the Nirvana Patch, a patented technology that enhances your mood with no drugs, no chemicals, and no stimulants. So together, the supplement and patch work synergistically to support a prolonged sense of happiness and well-being. Now you can find greater happiness, even in the most hectic moments, through an amazingly simple and powerful change in body chemistry. Discover your personal nirvana today.
As you were able to see, it's a natural solution. Nirvana has 2 components, 60 tablets and 30 patches, enough for 1 month. How does the Nirvana system work? Well, the tablets stimulates endorphin production to enhance mood, and the patches keep those endorphins production. This is sold as a system. The Nirvana patch and supplement are designed to be used together. So now you know how to help someone with depression. So please contact the person who sent you this video for more information. Thank you.